Greetings and welcome to Theology, Geek, Fitness. I'm Jonathan Pritchett, and in this video, I'm going to go over my top 5 pieces of home gear that I use for my training. Now, I'm not saying these are the top 5 best of all time. If you like to use free weights and you have an awesome rack or cage or bench and you have a great set of kettlebells or whatever, or you just love your adjustable dumbbells, that's awesome. This is my top 5 pieces of home gear, not yours. So I'm not claiming these are the best pieces of equipment for everybody. I'm saying these are my top 5. Now, 2021 is coming to a close, and that will be 21 months of me not working out in a gym, except for a couple times if I'm traveling and I want to check out the hotel gym and grab some dumbbells just to see where I'm at with that compared to where I was when I left the gym back in March of 2020, and play around in the hotel gym with dumbbells or weight machines or whatever. I've done that on occasion. I'm not like, oh, I'm not going to ever do that. No, I'm just not going to go back to the gym because I do like the flexibility of being able to train wherever I want, whenever I want, however I want, with relatively inexpensive gear. Though the fact that I keep buying gear, it does add up over time, but still spent less than I think 2 years worth of gym memberships would be, even at Planet Fitness. So I'm doing well in that regard. So my top 5 for my training. Coming at number 5 is one of my pieces of weighted gear. Now, my weighted gear that I have BOSU Surge 60, but it wasn't BOSU. It was Headstrom or something like that. But it used to be called the Storm 60. Now it's called the Surge 60. But that I have their hydro balls, and I have this sandbag, and I have a weight vest, and I have some ankle and wrist weights. So I do have weighted gear. I still like to train with weighted gear in addition to my body weight. And that BOSU 60 is the number 1 still. Now, I've been having a lot of fun with the sandbag back here, but the BOSU Surge 60 is still my favorite piece of weighted gear that I own. I love it. I have a blast using it. It's just a lot of fun to sling that thing around. It feels like a strongman type piece of equipment. It caps out at 60 pounds, but you can add resistance bands. I still need to make a video on how to incorporate resistance bands with it to even increase the tension beyond that 60 pounds. But that 60 pounds feels like a whole lot more with that water shifting in there. It's just so much fun to use. All the various exercises that I use it for are great. You can see my review on it. I don't do hardly any of the recommended exercises, and to be honest with you, I have no idea what they're trying to do with that, or at least the initial videos that I saw when I was eyeballing this product from the other company. They really did a weird thing. I talk about that more than the other thing, but what I'm using it for, phenomenal, fantastic, love it, been having a blast with it. That is my number 5. So if you do things like I do, which is mostly non-weighted equipment, using resistance bands and suspension trainers and calisthenics bodyweight stuff, it really is a lot of fun to grab some weighted gear and just mess with that every now and then. That's not to say I don't like the other stuff. I do like the hydro balls. I do like the sandbag. I do like using my weight vest. And in fact, I use my weight vest in addition to bands with the Surge 60, just to keep on piling on weight. So if I'm doing squats, I'll grab that Surge 60 and I'll throw on a weight vest and some ankle or weights. I'll just put them on my wrists and just weigh myself down. And so, I can use all this stuff in combination just to make it tougher. But this thing is number 1 as far as my weighted gear, and it's my 5th favorite piece of equipment that I've been using in my home/anywhere training. Number 4 it's got to be the Lebert EQ bars, which are not the ones that you see back there. That's ProSource Fit or something. My Lebert EQ bars are at home. I still like those better than these, though EQ bars are kind of EQ bars, and these are almost as good. I just like the grip and the feel of the Lebert ones slightly better. They edge it out. And because I got a good deal on it, I'm not saying because I paid way much more money for it that I'm making myself, psyching myself out to like it better. I generally do like it better. But the difference for most things is probably negligible, but still, you can tell the difference in the craftsmanship and stuff. But EQ bars are still EQ bars. And, you know, I started with the BGC dip station that was one solid piece, EQ bars that I got at Academy of Sports during the quarantine era, you know, 2020. But I do like the separate parallel bars, and that's why I have a pair here at work that I got really cheap through an Amazon Lightning deal. And then I got the Lebert ones at home, which are, in fact, my favorite. It's my fourth favorite piece of gear. I love doing dips, but I also just love all the other things that you can do with a set of parallel bars. That was surprising, but you know, like I said, I was still learning. I always like to do dips at the gym, so I got that just to do dips. You know, got the dip station. But as I was researching more and more, what all can you get out of this thing? Because you like things to do a lot of different things. You want your equipment when you're working out at home to do multiple things, and what all can I get out of it? And when I started watching the videos of people doing various total body workouts with that, I was surprised, and I enjoy using it for my workouts. 2 days a week, I use those kind of things. So that would be my number 4. Primarily I still use them for dips, but I do use them for other things as well. And I just love that kind of thing. Which brings me to number 3, my favorite exercise, believe it or not. My most favorite exercise is to do pull-ups, because when you're a former fat guy and you can finally do pull-ups, you know, I'm still trying to work my way up to the muscle of it. When you can finally do pull-ups and do more than one, it's like this huge sense of accomplishment. And so I just love doing pull-ups. It's my most favorite exercise. My least favorite exercise is doing weighted pull-ups, which I like to do. I'll throw on the weight vest or ankle weights or whatever and try to weigh myself down to do them, and I can't get near as many as I can unweighted, of course. I mean, it just makes sense. But I love the feel of doing pull-ups, and like I said, part of that's probably just being a former fat guy who couldn't do any. It's kind of like dips. When you get your first dips, you get your dips. I got my dips before I got my pull-up. I got my first dip unassisted before I got my first pull-up. But I just love doing pull-ups, and you know, not all pull-up bars are created equal. My favorite pull-up bar right now is going to be the Jayflex CrossGrips, just because they can go over any door and they're just wonderful. They're portable. You don't have to throw a whole, you know, pull-up bar into your trunk. You can just put these. They fit in a little bag, and so because of the portability, now they're expensive. Granted, they're expensive, but pull-ups anywhere you can find a door. I've never had a door frame that it wouldn't mount on. It's just super easy. Just pull it out, lock it in place, lock the other one in place. You can adjust how far apart or how narrow within the, you know, confines of the door frame itself. But it's just my favorite thing, just because of what it is, you know. And yeah, I mean, they can be used for like push-up bars or whatever, but you know, I don't use them for that. I've only used them for doing pull-ups and chin-ups and stuff. And it's got the hammer grip as well, so you've got options that way. So by far the best. I think it's worth the money simply because it's so compact, whereas a pull-up bar is usually one solid piece that's for a door frame or whatever. And so that alone, I mean, for me, still doing a pull-up's a pull-up, you know, whether it's on a bar outside, you know, at a playground, or if it's in a gym or on a power tower or a solid, you know, door frame pull-up bar. Pull-up's pull-up. But because of the portability of it and the small footprint of it, that has got to be the best thing. Now, we'll see, because, you know, it's a door frame thing, but I'm getting the bars, grips, rings thing whenever they're shipped. Supposed to be shipping in February. I got in on the Kickstarter thing. And of course, this got a pull-up bar. And, you know, if you can find a place to mount it, that might be lots of fun too. It might be my favorite, even if it's, you know, if you have to go on a hunt to find a place to mount that thing. Whereas this, you can only use it on a door frame, but, you know, easier to find a door frame than it is finding a solid branch or whatever. but still, it might be the fun of that because that's a pull-up bar slash set of gym rings slash suspension trainer. It's got the cradles. You can swap out the bar with the cradles. You know, it's slick, adjustable thing. Go check out BOSU Surge rings. I'm curious. I'm hoping that makes the top 5 list for 2022. But for right now, for pull-ups, for me, number 1 is, the number 1 pull-up thing coming in at number 3 of my top 5 is the Jayflex CrossGrips. Number 2 is my T2 ISO trainer. Now, I've always been a fan of suspension trainers. I would even use the TRX when I was going to Planet Fitness. They had one hanging in that Synergy 360 portion of it. Lots of cool stuff there. So I've always liked incorporating that. And I've got, if I count that as a suspension trainer, that would be my 4th suspension trainer. I have that $15 deal from Walmart, which I got along great in lockdown. Still think it's great. If you want to see if suspension training is for you, I would buy that before anything else because it's only $15. You have to use it over a door, but still. That was great. I found a TRX knockoff that I got relatively inexpensive at a bargain bin store here in town. I ordered this N-Star bodyweight thing because they were imitating the Angles 90 grips, and then they had a whole suspension trainer thing added to it. And so I thought, well, I'll get that instead of the Angles 90 because it was a lot. I think the price that I paid for that suspension trainer was cheaper than just the handles from Angles 90, but they're the exact same thing, which I feel bad for Angles 90 because I think they designed it. But, N-Star was selling that thing, and then the sling trainer for the Angles 90 thing was another $25, whereas this came for, I think I bought it for like $42, and it had the handles, it had the rest of the suspension trainer thing, and resistance band that you could use as well with the handles. So I got that. It's a light footprint, little bag about that big, but it is a bit of a hassle to set that thing up, to be honest with you. So it's not, I hardly ever use it. But I was using the Spry Walmart door over-the-door suspension trainer. I think they call it suspension trainer now. It used to be, I think it was called a gravity trainer. The exact same thing. They just changed the name on the box when I bought it. And then I have the TRX knockoff that I found to be completely comparable to the TRX I use in the gym. All of those have gone by the wayside with the T2 ISO trainer, which suspension training is not even its big thing. It's the Isokinetic training with that. Even though it can do all kinds of things that they advertise, the Isokinetic is what I got it for, and that it's a solid suspension trainer, and that you can do suspension exercises and then go straight into your Isokinetic exercises. Just makes it a TRX killer. It can't compete. And where it's priced, you can find a decent coupon code. It's still cheaper than most of the TRXs except for the bottom end. But you also get an app for it. You can get workouts through the app, I think, if you pay for that. But just the app itself, just the free stuff, it's got exercises for days. It's got a huge exercise library. I don't use most of them. I've tried many of them, and they're a lot of fun and stuff. I just stick to my basics. But the T2 ISO trainer, I use it now as often as I use resistance bands, which is 2 days a week. I do an upper body workout with just it alone, and I do a lower body workout with just it alone. And I'm only using resistance bands 2 days a week, one for an upper body day and one for a lower body day. I'm working out 6 days a week now. And yeah, I'm using it as much as resistance bands. I love it. It's fantastic. And I've always loved suspension training, but the Isokinetic thing has just taken that to a whole other level, and just doing various non-suspension training related exercises with the Isokinetic stuff, it's just becoming one of my favorite pieces of equipment. I don't know that it can replace everything, and I don't think I'd ever want it to, because I like using all the kinds of toys that I use to do my fitness training with, but can't speak enough about it. It is a bit pricey, even with the coupon code. I think I paid around $160 for it, but as far as I'm concerned, it's worth every penny and then some. So love it. The T2 ISO trainer since I got it. And I haven't even had it that long this year, but I've just absolutely fallen in love with it. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. And then, of course, my number one is going to be resistance bands. But as you know, I use various resistance bands from various companies, various degrees of quality. I've talked about that in previous videos. But I have to say my Undersun resistance bands are my favorite resistance bands. They're not the most expensive ones, but I guess I just like, because I don't use my grips and bar for every single possible exercise I can. I've talked about that in previous videos. I use a lot of the slicker surface actually works better than the more grippier bands that cost more, and they're better quality than any of the ones in its own price range, or certainly better, way better than the ones that are less than the Undersun bands. But with the Undersun bands, you also get the Undersun community, which is that's worth the money alone. I love the company. It's a great company by James Grage and Nick Naylor. And shout out to Jessica, because she's their customer service person, and she is wonderful and takes care of all of us in the Undersun tribe. Best community on Facebook by far. And the bands themselves are excellent quality, and they have that lifetime guarantee. I've never had a resistance loop band snap on me, ever. And same with the Undersun. But if they did, I like knowing that they will replace it for free without any hassle or questions asked. Whereas I've heard like the higher end brand that I have, Clinch, and I really like the Clinch bands. They're really great bands, and they're actually more expensive than the Undersun, and they have the grippier surface, which is good for certain types of bars. And I like to use a bar for my chest presses, but because of the surface of my bar, the bar that I'm using now that I got from Keith Boutwell, the Undersun bands, even with being slicker than the Clinch bands, get on it fine. But Clinch, I've heard, they want you to jump through several hoops within their year warranty. Undersun says lifetime. You can't beat that. It's just the greatest company. And for me, the reason why resistance bands is number one is because resistance bands still, to me, are the single most versatile. Now, the T2 claims to be, it makes that claim. I've so far only been messing with the suspension trainer and isokinetic aspects of it. And what I fooled around with is elastic, which is kind of the equivalent of a resistance band attachment and stuff that you can incorporate. No, I don't think it replaces the resistance bands, at least at this point. What it does with isokinetics is great, and I love doing that. But resistance bands still, if there's one piece of equipment that I have found that is super versatile, it is the 41-inch loop resistance bands. But Undersun is the best by far as the quality is good enough. It's not the best quality resistance band or the most expensive that you can buy, but it's very high quality. It's got the lifetime warranty per band. You snap a band, they'll send you another one. It's got the excellent community, and they now include, which I had said this when I reviewed Undersun, said they should just include their new universal indoor-outdoor anchor. And guess what? They do now. That comes with it, and they didn't really increase the price of the bands. It's amazing. What a great company. Anyway, that's the standard anchor now. And I have a video that I go on and on. I'm probably doing several videos going on and on about how wonderful that anchor is, because you can anchor it anywhere, indoors, outdoors, whatever. It's a door anchor plus an anchor strap for posts and trees and whatever else you can find in the environment to anchor it with. So both that taken together, it really is train anytime, anywhere. And as soon as they developed that anchor, they stopped selling their bands with the old anchor. They put that standard now. The price didn't go up. It's fantastic. It is a workout anywhere, anytime, just like they advertise, especially with that awesome door anchor that no other company has come close to producing anything like their anchor strap, their indoor outdoor universal anchor, whatever they call it. So it's fantastic. Undersun resistance bands, you're not gonna find a better company. Do I still want them to come out with the bigger band? Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's not a big deal for the price, for what you get for the 5 standard bands, the quality. It's fantastic. So that's my number one. I use the Undersun bands now when I do my band training. You can see the videos where I do Almost all of the demonstration videos are with the Undersun Bands. They're just great bands. Can't go wrong with them. And I still think that resistance bands are probably something that everyone should have in their closet. Even if you are a member of a gym, sometimes you don't go. Of course, most gym memberships go unused for most people. But even if you're a regular goer, you don't always get to go to the gym. Resistance bands still, I think, the best, well-rounded. You can pretty much replicate any exercise plus do specific resistance band type of exercises you can't do with the gym. It helps you with your pull-ups. I mean, that's what they were originally designed for, as far as I know. And pull-ups are my favorite exercise. So, I mean, you just can't go wrong with a set of loop bands. And for the price and value and the community and supporting a great company and has the best door anchor / anywhere anchor on the market, the Undersun resistance bands, by far the best investment I've made. T2 ISO trainer, close second, very close second, but Undersun still number one, and resistance band training is still my, I'm doing it only as often as I'm doing other stuff now. It used to be I did that plus add in stuff here and there, but they used to be my bread and butter, and that got me through quarantine. And still, if I had to ever thin out the herd, I would, became a minimalist, I would probably just keep these 5 things that I listed today, for example. But resistance bands, the 41-inch loop bands, still, I mean, they've carried me through since I walked out of the gym because they closed it down in March 2020, and I'm still using them today. I haven't put them down yet. I still base 2 out of my 6 days of training around resistance bands. Never going to give them up. They're great. They're what go with me when I travel. Fantastic. Undersun is the brand I recommend for that. So there you go. That is my top 5 pieces of home gear that I use in my training. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you liked the video, click the like button. If you didn't like it, click the dislike button. No one will know anyway. I don't know what's up about that. If you like what we're doing with the channel, please consider going to patreon.com/Theology Geek Fitness and becoming a patron and support what we're doing here. Your money will be reinvested to the channel. You'll get full workout videos for different types of equipment, whether it's resistance bands or calisthenics gear or suspension trainers. I'm going to probably start making videos using the ISO trainer. I'll start making I need to get around to making videos with the Surge 60, some full workout videos for every muscle group, and the hydro balls and stuff like that. So putting out new content there, full workout videos without me, counting off reps and telling you that my biceps are on fire and none of that trainer stuff. It's completely dead silent so that you can listen to whatever you want to listen to rather than the sound of my voice while you watch the exercise videos on the Patreon account. So consider supporting what we do there. Every little bit helps and gets reinvested in the channel. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. God bless.